What's up? Welcome to the only Facebook Live that both Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk watch every single week. The only place where you can get the digital marketer's toast, where epiphanies happening, where minds are blown, where miracles are dispensed. It's the thing that makes random acts of kindness break out all over the world. If you've had a crappy week so far, this is the cure. Welcome to Coffee with Michael, people. How's everybody doing? What's up, Dean? Deborah? Raki? Everybody doing good? Good morning, Facebook user from sunny and hot Naples, Florida. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to give StreamYard permission to show your name so I know who you are. Free speech e-commerce company here. Represent. What is up? Good morning, Christina. Gwen, how you doing? I think I'm cheating a little bit by having my coffee early. I better bring in the toast, huh? Let's get us all warmed up here. You guys feeling it? Let's do it. Today, we're going to be talking about mindset shifts. You need to change this if you want to make more of this. That's the takeaway. Change this to make more of this. We're going to get into it. We're going deep. We're going really deep. But first, you know how we roll. We have a little thing we call the Digital Marketer's Toast. If you've never partaken in the Digital Marketer's Toast, let me tell you, this thing is magical. This thing is magical. It's a little ritual we all do every week. It lowers CPMs. It increases conversions. It gives you a media buyer's brain. A lot of people report that they feel tinglies afterwards, that they get random deposits of money into their bank account, that their life gets better. They have an amazing weekend. It's an amazing thing. It's magical. It's magical. And it can only be found here every week, Friday, Coffee with Michael, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks, and join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sales, to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Are you ready? Drink up, everybody. There we go. There we go. I know many of you are feeling it right now. Tingles from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes. You're feeling peace. You've been working on a problem for weeks and you just got the answer. It just came to you. Your entire weekend is going to be better now. Your day is going to start to improve. And this is why. Do you feel me? This is why. It's because you showed up. It's because you showed up. All right. Let's go. Everybody doing good? Let's get into it. If you enjoy what we do here every single week, do me a favor, like the post, drop some love in the comments. If you're on YouTube, hit the like notification, whatever YouTube's got. Subscribe, notification bell, like the post, do all the fun stuff YouTube lets you do. And if you're on Facebook, drop your favorite emojis in the chat. Let us feel some love. We'd appreciate it. Let's go. Are you guys ready? You guys ready to do this? Let's get into some testimonials real quick. First, Sumit. So every week we do testimonial posts. Everybody you see here is going to get some swag for sharing their success stories in the group. The first one is Sumit. Motivational post. Just crossed the 1,000K mark. 1K mark with ShineOn and Etsy. Started listing for mid-January with the integration. Listed more than 700 listings in 8 niches. Now that is a work ethic, right? That is what I'm talking about. That is massive action that will get you results, people. As Michael says, you're only one product away, but a lot goes into finding that one product. Your work, your actions, your strategy, and more importantly, your mindset. Ooh, that's what we're talking about today. Told you, man. These Coffee with Michaels, they just bring everything together. It's like the whole universe works towards the good of these things, right? It's like this intricate fabric that gets woven together, and you're a part of it, and I'm part of it, and ShineOn's part of it, and people are making sales. It's amazing. All right, most importantly, your mindset. How deeply you believe in yourself. I was about to quit etc., etc. Go look up Sumit here in the Facebook group and read his post, motivational post. Thank you so much, Sumit, for sharing your results here. This is amazing. I just absolutely love the massive action that you took. That's just, it's absolutely incredible. So you deserve every bit of the success you reap. You've got some swag coming your way. Somebody from my team will be reaching out. Thank you. Next up is Sonia. Got my first sale March 7th. Tips I followed. Like Michael's another say, keep it simple and it's all about the message. I know how to use Photoshop, but choose not to add distracting design elements. Someone has been watching the Coffee and Michaels. We've talked about that at least twice in the last 4 weeks. Great work. Great work. Just like Anna talked about, says Anna Beck, a great friend of ours. I write all original messages. I just think about what I would say to a loved one and write from the heart off the top of my head. 3, I'm bilingual, so I write in both languages equally. It gives me an advantage. $227 in revenue, 4 units, first sale, March 7th. Congratulations, Sonia. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing your success. You've got some swag coming your way. Next up, Gary Hare. Gary has been around for a while now. I absolutely love to see this post earlier this week. I actually think he just had his first, I don't want to misrepresent. I think it was a 20K month. For some reason, my mind's thinking 100K, but that might be too high. This is my first month. This has been a month of milestones for me, but this one is the sweetest. My first 10K month. Matt Schmidt, Devin, he thanks a bunch of people, and so many others have had a huge impact on my progress, and I can't thank you all enough. 10K in revenue from April 1st to April 22nd. I'm pretty sure he's at 20K now. Where are we at? Here we go. Over 20K now. Congratulations, Gary. You deserve it. Let's give him a round of applause in the chat. Get that little emoji with the hands, the clapping hands. Drop those in the chat. Let's let Gary know we're rooting for him. Thank you for making us part of your success. We love seeing these types of screenshots, the new milestones. It's amazing, man. I'm sure people would love to know how you did it. If you want to drop a value post, folks would love it. All right. Congrats, Gary. You got some swag coming your way. Maybe you want one of these, These are pretty cool. Started at the bottom. Now we're here. $100 million t-shirt from ShineOn. These are pretty sweet. But I don't know. We got a whole store to choose from. Somebody will be reaching out. You'll enjoy it. All right, Gail, 50 orders in my Shopify store. Congratulations. Celebrate every victory, right? This could seem really big to some and a distant memory for others. When I started getting sales and a product finally hit, I said to my husband, I feel like I cracked the code. That is what I'm talking about. That's amazing. Thank you, Gail, for sharing. 50 orders. That's incredible. As soon as you get this thing working for you online, it is really, really mind-blowing. Look at this, Gary. Look at the love. Amazing. Great work. Loving it. All right, let's go. If you want some swag, each week we randomly draw 2 to 5 posts from the group. We're looking for testimonials, milestones being hit, value posts, tips and tricks, things like that. If you drop them, we'll feature them. You'll get some swag. It's pretty cool how that works out. All right, let's go through some news and then we're going to get into it. The new Rose Bear upsell is out. We had to do some work on the margins here a little bit. I think we actually just posted the wrong margins last week. So the base cost is $18.80. We have a recommended selling price of $29.99. That gives you $11.19 profit. Again, this is an upsell. It's not a hero product. So this is just extra money on their way to checkout in your bank. Pretty amazing. All right, we launched a new product this week. If any of you didn't see the post, we launched the perfect pair necklace. You can see it right here in the image. This is super popular. It sells like hotcakes on Etsy. This was very, very, very requested by a ton of people. So we wanted to get it out there and into your hands. Base cost $14.40 on the standard box, $26.90 on the luxe box. Minimum suggested selling price is $54.95 on the standard box. That's $44.55 profit on every sale. $74.95 on the luxe box. That's $48.05 profit on every single sale. That's absolutely incredible. Those margins are gigantic. Don't sleep on this, people. Those margins are gigantic. And if you're selling these on Etsy, holy smokes, you're going to basically get to keep all of it. Organic sales. It's amazing. 100% margin. Anyway, looking good. This is a great product. How many of you were looking forward to a product like this? Let me know in the chat here. Type perfect pair if you've been looking forward to this particular product. I know it was requested a lot by a lot of different folks. And if you're on Etsy, if you're an Etsy seller, you see these literally all over the place. Christina says, already up in my stores. Love it. Action. It's the way to be. Action. Love them both. Perfect pair. Me, I want one for myself. Yeah. Yep. Pretty amazing. I would say our sourcing team did a fantastic job on these. Hey, Sandy, that's next. No teasers, or no spoilers. Let's see. I've been looking for that. Yep. Yeah, our merchandising team did a fantastic job finding these. So anyways, yeah, amazing. All right, next, we got the Faith necklace, the Faith Cross necklace. This is a fun one. This one sells really, really well. It's very unique. You can see it makes the shape of a cross, and it says faith. So if you're selling to a faith-based audience or you're in one of those niches, this is an amazing product. 14K white gold over stainless steel, fulfills from Florida and the EU, available on Shopify, Etsy platform, and partner channels. This is the cool part to me. The base cost $10.90 in the standard box with a suggested selling price of $29.95. You can probably get $39.95 out of this with a $19 profit. What I love about this is with that lower base cost, you can go for volume. This will probably sell pretty well on Etsy, but you can go for volume plays here with those lower base costs, which is amazing. 2340 Lux box with a suggested selling price of $49.95. That's $25 in profit, which is pretty incredible. It's a really, really neat product. If you've been in the digital marketer space for any length of time, you know this sells really well because it's been all over the SPY tools for a while. So go check this out. It's really, really cool. All right. Mother's Day shipping cutoffs. For those of you that don't know, May 2nd is really the big one. So we're going to go from left to right here. Graphic pennants, April 28th was the cutoff. That was yesterday. Engrave only pennants, that's May 1st. May 1st for engrave only. Message card is May 2nd, which is what most people are selling. May 2nd, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Eastern Daylight Time. Metal art was yesterday as well. So this is really the big one I think most people are focusing on right now for Mother's Day, where we're seeing most of the success. Just a real quick recap. Love Knot is doing amazing. Alluring Beauty is doing amazing. And then Forever Love is also doing amazing. We're seeing romance niches taken off, as well as the classic kind of Mother's Day type niches. Everybody struggled to find scale this year until about 3 weeks ago. Scale really started to pick up, but it was a little slower start this year than in 2021. So if you were trying a month ago and struggling a little bit, make sure you're in the game right now. There's only a few days left, but you can still make some gravy if you take massive action. But anyway, we just noticed sales it's like the scale wasn't quite there until about 3 weeks ago, which was roughly 2 or 3 weeks later than it was in 2021. But folks are having amazing success right now. Gary is testament to that, who was in the chat just a little while ago, broke 20K. It's a milestone month for him. Congratulations, Gary. If you want some coaching, we offer coaching.shineon.com. It's led by Kirsta here. He's got a big brain on him. He did 2.7 million here in Q4 in about a month, which is just an incredible run. He had one day where I think he did $154,000 in jewelry sales, which is mind blowing. He's probably one of the top 5 or 10 TikTok marketers in the world right now. He really knows what he's doing. You can see over here on the right, we have a testimonial from Washington Helps, who's in the coaching group. He implemented a strategy he learned right here, and you can see how his scale took off literally the following day, all from the coaching group. If you're interested in this, go to coaching.shineon.com, coaching.shineon.com to check it out. Finally, if you have a winning product and you're trying to scale it, there's only a few days left, but we have a program now. We partnered up with Mario Menduni, who's kind of scaled a bunch. This guy scaled 25 or 30 times. He really knows his way around a winning product. If you're new to scaling, I highly recommend reach out to Mario. You can go to ShineOnScalingWithMario.com, ShineOnScalingWithMario.com. You can get on a free call with him, figure out if you're a good fit. If so, he has a done with you scaling program he'd like to invite you into, and he'll actually do some scaling with you to help you hit big numbers. So go check that out. If you have a product that's doing well and you're not sure how to scale it, this is for you. ShineOnScalingWithMario.com. All right. Shots of Espresso published every week on Thursdays, I believe. Up at the very top of the Facebook group, if you click featured, you'll see all of this, right? All the shots of espresso, all the coffee with Michael's, all the new product releases, new feature releases, all the amazing stuff we bring you week in and week out. It's all there. If you miss a post, you miss a news item, go check it out. We house it all there for your convenience. Okay, we ready to rock and roll here? Do me a favor. If you're ready to rock and roll, give me some brains. I want to see some brain emojis in the chat. Brains, just like you see in the little ticker down here at the bottom of your screen. I want the brain emoji spamming the chat right now. I want like a brain waterfall in the chat right now. Brain waterfall, people. Make it happen. We can only do it together. No brain waterfall was ever created by one person alone. We have to be a team here. There we go. Starting the waterfall strong. We have Christina. Where are my brains at? There we go. Sabrina. Christina, Sabrina rhymed. Facebook user. We're getting some brains here. That's what I'm talking about. Some pink fleshy brains. I can't believe I said that. All right, let's go. Let's go. Brains. The brain waterfall. See, you guys, you're not going to get a brain waterfall anywhere else. This is the only place probably ever you've seen a brain waterfall. Am I right? It's Coffee with Michael, man. We're making memories together. All right. All right, let's do it. I love you guys. This is fun, isn't it? Tell me it's not fun. Okay. So today we're talking about mindset. Mindset. You will be different after today, right? So I'm giving you kind of a red pill, blue pill kind of moment here. Throwing back to the matrix. Whatever you decide from this point, your life will be different, okay? So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to teach you some mindset tips and tricks, things like that. You can adopt them and your life will be different, or you can ignore them and your life will be different. But this is a turning point. You're at a crossroads in your life right now just because you're here, right? And you're going to have to make some decisions on this call, whether you're apathetic, whether you ignore what I'm about to teach you, whether you adopt what I'm about to teach you, right? Those are all decisions. Apathy is a decision. Indecision is, in its own way, a decision, right? And after today's call, your life is going to be different. Your life is going to be different because I'm about to give you what you need to get this up here right so that you can achieve success. And if you don't do anything with that, there's only one person's fault that is after today, right? After today, I'm putting the responsibility in your hands. I'm handing you the ball, right? The ball will be in your court after this, right? So you will be different after today. You will be different after today. Everybody feeling me? You are going to have to make a choice. So if you're scared, sign out now. Just sign off now. Stop watching this. Turn the volume down. Close it out. Go back to watching Netflix or doing whatever it is you do. But if you're serious about getting this right so that you can achieve success, so that you can change your life, right? So you can do things you didn't think you could do before, then stay tuned. Stay tuned, because that's all we're talking about today is mindset. Mindset. Getting this up here right. That's all we're talking about today. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the ShineOn game, okay? Because if we're getting mindset right, I want to talk about the context, right? ShineOn is what kind of pulls all of us together. It's why we're here. It's why we're all on this call together right now. When I talk about some of these mindsets, that you can apply them broadly to your entire life, but I'm also going to tell you how they apply to ShineOn and doing media buying and digital marketing and things like that. So let's talk about the ShineOn game real quick. How to win the ShineOn game, okay? It's all about finding winning products. We talked about this the last 2 weeks. It's about winning product has a certain virality to it, so it spreads very easy, and it makes advertising super easy. But this is the key. This is the key. So if you want to win the ShineOn game, it is literally this that makes everything easier, okay? It's literally this that makes everything easier. Okay, the anatomy of a winning campaign. This is what everybody thinks it is, right? Everybody thinks it's like 5% product and 95% ad kung fu, whether it's TikTok or Facebook or Google or Snapchat or Pinterest or whatever it is, right? This is what everybody thinks. 5% product, 95% ad kung fu. But what it really is this 5% ad kung fu, 95% of your product. Okay. So winning product is everything, Here's another way to think about it. The better your product, the less marketing skill required. Okay. We're getting to the mindset stuff. Hang on. I'm laying context. I'm laying some foundations here real quick. The better your product, the less marketing skill required, right? So as your product quality goes up, right, your skill required goes down. As product quality goes up, skill required goes down. Everybody feeling me? Everybody feeling me on that? Setting expectations. So the ShineOn platform is about finding winning products. Now listen, that's hard. It's not super easy. It's a skill that must be developed. Another way to think about it, and by the way, before I get into it, it's easy to forget that it's actually a skill that must be developed, because when you're in this space and you're watching YouTube videos and you're learning from people online and you start getting the ads for courses in your newsfeed and stuff, it's always like people with Lamborghinis and doing high roller things and stepping off of private jets and lounging at a pool on vacation. It's ridiculous stuff, but it looks like they just one day woke up and got success handed to them on a platter, right? Like it was super easy to make it happen. And that's not actually how it works. It's a skill, and the skill, like any skill, must be developed. So, questions. Do players hit a home run every time they step up to the plate? No, right? So you're not going to hit a winning product every time you step up to the plate. Do golfers hit a hole in one with every swing? No. So what makes you think you're going to hit a winning product with every one you publish? Do dart throwers always hit the bullseye? Do basketball players always nail the half-court shot? Do you always win the slot at the slot machines? Do miners always strike gold? Right? The answer is no. So you're not going to hit a winning product every single time you put something out into the universe. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. You got to develop the skill. My point is, it takes a whole lot of effort to make it happen. So when you see somebody hit a winner, when you see somebody like Kirsta driving these gigantic numbers, you should know he's put in a lot of work. He's really understood what resonates with his market. He understands what makes a winning product, right? He's had a lot of time and practice to work on those skills. So the process of ShineOn from 30,000 feet, mindset stuff is right around the corner, people. It's coming. The process stuff from 30,000 feet. This is kind of what it looks like at ShineOn. You do product research, you create a design, you run a test. Then based on your test results, you either scale it or you start over, right? You will do this a heck of a lot, right? You will do this way more than you do this, okay? That's just the nature of the game, right? You'll do this 10 times, 20 times, right? For every single time you do this. That is just how this game works. But the times you do this, where you go to scale, they'll pay for all the other times, right? They will pay for all of the other times. You literally can run through this 99 times and have one winner that pays for 1,000 tests. I mean, literally, that's how this game works, okay? To put it in perspective for you, I think, in a span of 3 weeks, one time before Christmas, I went through darn near 100 designs. I hit one winner. And by the way, in my 100 designs, I was lucky enough to break even on my 100 designs because I developed my skill set and kind of knew what I was doing, knew how to cut my losses early, things like that. And on the one success I had, I think I pulled in, it was over $200,000 in profit, right? So I say that to put it in perspective for you. This is where you're going to live, okay? This is where you live. This is a nice place to visit, right? You live here. You visit here sometimes. That's how you think about it, okay? It's how you think about it. All right, let's go. Looking at the chat. Love this. Laura, I've been so discouraged this week. Thank you for this, Michael. Well, stay tuned, because by the end of this, I'm hoping I can get you feeling encouraged, pumped, ready to rock and roll. But stay tuned. So what's one thing you can do to increase your chances of finding success? I'm going to give you the formula. Ready? Yes, there is a formula. What's the one thing you can do to increase your chances of success? Anybody want to guess? Give me some guesses in the chat. What's the one thing you think you can do to increase your chances of finding a winning product? Let's see it in the chat. Let's see it in the chat. What's the one thing you can do to increase your chances of finding a winning product? Let's see here. Show up, research, practice and patience, persistence, don't give up, test nonstop, test more, show up, research. Yeah. Staying in the game and not quitting. I love all these answers. They're all basically right. Believe that you can do it. That's a big one. Consistency. I hope that most people watching this believe that they can do it. Or else why are you here? Why are you watching? I think most people here probably believe they can do it. That's a great one. Consistency, understanding your prospect, mindset, test. Yes. Loving it. These are all great answers. They're all right answers. This is what I would say it is. Give yourself as many opportunities as possible, right? If you want to increase your chances of finding a winning product, you need to give yourself as many opportunities as possible, right? This is about, to use a baseball reference, if you want to hit a home run, right, you need as many at-bats as you can get, right? You need to be able to stand in front of that plate and swing at the ball as many times as you possibly can to hit more home runs. That's the only way to do it. So you need to give yourself as many opportunities as possible, i.e. test a lot of products. Test a lot. So here's the formula. Everybody ready for the formula? Here's the ShineOn success equation. The ShineOn success equation. You ready? It's time plus opportunities plus not giving up equals success, right? It's basically how long can you stay on this treadmill? If you can stay on this treadmill long enough, you're almost guaranteed to find a success, right? That is literally this entire game. How long can you stay on the treadmill? Because if you can stay on it long enough, you are almost guaranteed to find a success, right? You're almost guaranteed to find a success. I love this here from Steven. Been doing this 7 years, never give up. Steven's crushing it for us right now, by the way. He's crushing it for us. Thanks for chiming in, Steven. Gary, this is a marathon and not a sprint. 100% right. 100% right. Okay, let's get to mindset stuff now. Let's talk about first, calibrating your mind and emotions for success. So there are a lot of setbacks, a lot of places where you can get discouraged and feel down. We're going to talk about how to kind of calibrate your mind and emotions to deal with those things when they show up so you don't get discouraged and down and quit, right? This is the first thing we're going to talk about. So let's talk about lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. This is a very, very common one with people that have tried this for a while and haven't had immediate success. So the problem is usually caused by lack of belief in your skills, ability, or intrinsic worth, right? This is a complicated one. All of the mindset stuff is complicated. But the problem is it's usually caused, this lack of confidence is usually caused by lack of belief in your skills, ability, or intrinsic worth, right? You maybe had a past where you weren't given a lot of encouragement, or you were put down, like intentionally put down. Could be dealing with that. Could be that you thought that you had the skills necessary to succeed in this and you've tried for a while and you haven't had success, so you're feeling down about that. Could be any number of things. Maybe you've never done marketing before and your brain can't get around it and you're really struggling, and it's an ability thing that's got you discouraged. But usually it's a lack of belief in your skills, ability, and intrinsic worth. So the solution is just to remember this. It's a process. All the top sellers, everybody you see here, every single one of us started out brand new, and we're all human, right? Every single one of us started out brand new, and we're all human. When I started doing this digital marketer thing, I didn't know how to do it. I had no freaking idea. I had to learn. It took me a long time. I mean, I've now been doing it for quite a while. I've learned the ropes, but I'm telling you, it took a long time, took a lot of education, took lots and lots and lots and lots of action. You know, I would say there were 10 parts of action for every one part of education. I mean, it takes a lot to develop a skill. If you want to get good at anything, there are no shortcuts in that regard, right? So top sellers, every single one of us, all of us started out brand new, and it takes time to learn. We're all human. You need to remember that. Even the top sellers you see that you think are heroes, they're just human beings like you. They have a family, they have relationship stuff, they got to deal with from time to time. They have finances to balance, they have stresses in their lives, their cars break down, they have to use the bathroom, they get sick, right? They're a mortal human being like everybody else, right? And it took time to develop the skill. The other kind of heuristic I keep that helps me remember this is there are no poopless cows. Now look, I don't really know where I picked this up actually. But there are no poopless cows. What it basically is trying to say is that all cows have poop. All cows have poop. And it reminds me that all human beings are the same way, right? We all have our flaws. We all have our problems. We all have our setbacks, things like that. I have no idea where I picked this up, but I picked it up somewhere. There are no poopless cows. And it always reminds me of this. Hey, we're all human beings here. We're all playing the same game. We're all dealing with the same struggles and tribulations and trials. Nobody's life is perfect. Nobody's life is perfect. That is 100% true. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be a rich celebrity. Look at Johnny Depp going through a court case right now. I mean, everybody has problems. Everybody, right? There are no poopless cows. Okay. The other thing I like to think of, I don't know why I played video games a lot when I was younger. And I always remember in a video game, if you played an RPG, you would always start out with a character. There was a level 1. And it took a really long time to level up. And as you leveled up, it was cool because you get new gear, you get new abilities, you get new whatevers, you get stronger, you get to go to new places in the game, things like that. But life is the same way. I mean, that's all a video game is, right? It's like a little miniature metaphor of life, right? Life is the exact same way. You got to level up. You have to grow the skills. You have to gain the strength, the fortitude. You have to build the character, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Hopefully this is helpful. Overcoming lack of confidence. Overcoming lack of confidence. We got a bunch of these to go through. Overcoming procrastination. How many of you struggle with procrastination? Huh? How many of you struggle with procrastination? Let me know in the chat if you struggle with procrastination. I kind of struggle with this one from time to time. If that's you, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat. I see my cow analogy is working for people. Good. Glad you're picking up what I'm putting down here. Sabrina, thanks for being brave, Sabrina, and letting us know you struggle with procrastination. Fatumata struggles with it. Laura struggles with it. Christine, yeah, it's a very, very common one. Angela, yes, more as I get older. Yes, me. Yep. Thank you for being brave and speaking up about it. All right, let's talk about procrastination. So there's a trick for this too. So the problem with procrastination at a deep level, by the way, I had to watch many TED Talks to figure this out. That's not an exaggeration. The problem with procrastination, like at its root, it's caused a little bit by losing sight of your end goal. Right? It's caused by losing sight of your end goal, of what you wanted to achieve, of what brought you to that thing in the first place. Right? So when you lose sight of your end goal, it takes the fire out of the thing that you're doing. You suddenly stop feeling that it's real, that it's right around the corner, that it can be achieved, right? It's not palpable anymore. It's not a motivating force anymore like it was before, right? When you lose sight of the end goal, it's very easy to be overcome by procrastination. Okay, because emotions set in, doubts set in, things like that. So here's some solutions for it. Write down your goals in a place where you can see them every day. Write down your goals in a place where you can see them every single day. I do this in my own life in a number of ways. I put it in Notepad on my iPhone. I screenshot the Notepad. I make that a wallpaper on my iPhone where my goals are, so I can see it literally every single day. I have a Trello board where I have my entire to-do list. I'll put my goals on my Trello board so I can see it literally every single day. You can take a dry erase marker and write it on a mirror, on your bathroom mirror, so you can see your goals every day. There are services out there where you can pay like $100 a month or something, and people will remind you of your goals every single day. Another thing I've done before is I wallpapers on your desktop. That's another great way to remind yourself of your goals. But remind yourself of your goals all the time so that you don't succumb to procrastination. But it's not just enough to remind yourself of your goals, because you have to remain in touch with the goals. You have to remain in touch with the goals. You all know what I'm talking about. When familiarity, like if you're seeing it day in and day out, it starts to lose its fire. It starts to lose that motivating kind of factor to it. And you have to breathe life into that thing. So here's the next thing you can do. Visualize what your life will look like once you've reached your goals. Visualize what your life will look like once you've reached your goals. So write them down. Yes, that helps you keep focus, right? But also mentally visualize what life looks like when you reach your goals. Where will you be? What will it look like? How will it feel, right? What will your family be like? What will your finances be like? What problems in your life will you not have anymore, right? Like make it very real. I'm talking about, go to 4K TV here. Then you don't do something low resolution. Make it very high resolution in your mind, right? Really, really think through it. I mean, in your brain, you want to be able to touch and feel things. You want it to be vivid and in color, right? This gives your subconscious something to hold on to, right? You need that. You got to make it real. Finally, write it down. Write down your vision. Write down your vision, right? So after you've done this, after you've visualized it, write it down, right? Write it down. It makes it real. It cements it in your brain. And you may have to revisit this. You may have to do the exercise more than once, depending on what the goal is. It's very important. I want to show you something a ShineOn seller sent us. They wrote down, I don't know how many times they wrote this down. I think they wrote it down, what is that, 20 or 30 times a day? I don't know. Once a week, they wrote this. Make $1 million with ShineOn in a year. Make $1 million in sales with ShineOn in a year. They had a whole notebook full of this. Every single day, they were writing that out. Make $1 million in sales with ShineOn in a year. Every single day, right? That's dedication. This will help you overcome procrastination, right? This helps you stay tuned in and in touch with your goals, right? You need this level of you need to be this radical about it. You need this level of commitment. You need to be maniacal about the goal, right? You have to want it. I mean, this is the thing. It can't be some back of the mind kind of goal that you want in the future. You have to feel it. It's got to pull you forward. That's the kind of goal you want. And you have to create that for yourself. And you can do it. All right, next. Was that helpful? Is this helpful to anybody? Let me know if this is helpful. Are you feeling this? Is it moving you forward? Are you feeling your emotions start to retune a little bit as we kind of go through this? Are you sensing relief maybe because there are some problems that you weren't sure how to overcome and now you've got some ideas? Let me know if this is helpful in the chat, please. Angela, yes. Rosie, yes. Gary, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Loving it. Thank you. Definitely feeling you for sure. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Next, overcoming not knowing what to do. Overcoming not knowing what to do. This can be a block in its own way, especially if you're new to this game. It's overwhelming. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. You don't know what's important, what to focus on. You can just get completely flooded by it. It's like a tsunami. It just takes over, washes you away kind of thing, right? So I typically think the process or the problem is caused by not being able to see the entire process end to end, right? You can't zoom out and at 100,000 feet see what you're doing kind of end to end. And it just feels completely overwhelming when you can't do that. It's like it's too big. It's too big of a thing if you can't zoom out and see the whole thing in one field of view, right? That's part of the reason I laid this foundation earlier about the process. This is the whole process. This is the whole thing. Yeah, underneath each of these boxes, there are more boxes. This is the whole thing. You just zoomed out and boom, I just showed you the whole thing, right? You can get your arms around this. There are 5 boxes here. 5 boxes here. You can get your arms around it 100%, right? So usually not knowing what to do, the problem, the setback, the barrier, the hesitation, the fear, it's caused by just not being able to see the whole process. That's usually what it is, right? So here's the solution. It's easy. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. If you don't know what to do, Educate yourself. I know you're probably like, duh, or like, how is that helpful? But seriously, it is this easy. It is this easy. Educate yourself. Watch Coffee with Michaels. Participate in the Digital Marketers Toast. Yeah. Take a course. Take coaching, right? Find a mentor. Connect with other people. Binge on YouTube videos. Learn, right? So pack some stuff into your brain so that you know what to do, right? But remember, you need to be able to see the big picture because that puts everything in context. Everything has its place when you understand the big picture. So learn, but don't get lost in the meta. You know what I'm saying? Don't get lost in the details. Understand this, right? And then what you can do is you can slowly start to piece together the rest of it. The rest of it. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Overcoming perfectionism. Overcoming perfectionism. How many of you struggle with perfectionism? I know this is another big one. How many of you struggle with perfectionism? Huh? How many of you struggle with perfectionism? This is a big one for a lot of people. Sydney, Facebook user, Angela, Deborah. Yep. Dave Mackey. Thanks for speaking up, being brave. Fatumata, sorry. Lambleseed, Nathan. Yep. Facebook user. Amen. Yeah. A lot of people struggle with perfectionism. This is a very, very common one. Very, very common one. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about smashing perfectionism. Okay. This is actually pretty easy to do. The hardest part with perfectionism is this is almost always tied to some kind of intrinsic self-worth thing. It's almost always tied at some level to like you evaluating yourself and your own self-worth through your output, right? That's the hardest thing to smash when it comes to perfectionism because you have to go deep to kind of understand what's going on there, why that is, and to begin to untangle that, right? So you have some of your own inner work you got to do where you have to disconnect your self-worth from your output, right? For many of you, that's what's going to hold you back here. But you have to find a way to disconnect your self-worth from your output. And you have to make it acceptable to put out things that maybe are not perfect, right? You have to make it acceptable to put out things that maybe are going to fail, right? Maybe they're garbage, right? That bad. But you need to understand that that's not a reflection. It doesn't throw back on you. It doesn't make your self-worth any less, right? That's going to be the toughest part about overcoming this. Now, oh, shoot. I actually didn't update the problem on this. So ignore the problem. Solution, though. Solution. You have to do the inner work. That's a tough one. That's something you're going to kind of have to do on your own. Another solution, though, is you kind of need to recognize some people just over process things. They just overwork a thing, right? Because they like don't quite understand when it's good is good enough, right? So you have to learn how to recognize the point of diminishing returns on something. You have to learn to recognize the point of diminishing returns on a thing. So if you look down here, there's this little chart, overall success and effort required, right? And you can see here, this is probably your point of diminishing returns because you can get a product to 90% of what it needs to be with this much effort, right? However, if you want to get it to 100%, it takes this much effort, right? So it'll take you, what's another way of saying this? 20% of your effort will get the product to 80%, right? But 80% of your effort or 80% of your effort is what's required to get it to 100%. Yeah, that's another way of putting it. But you have to learn to recognize the point of diminishing returns. It's important, right? That's how you know when good is good enough, okay? You have to learn to do this. This is a tough one. Overcoming perfectionism is probably the toughest one on here, in my opinion, depending on the individual, okay? All right, so now we're going to talk about developing a winning mindset. So these were all setbacks and how to overcome them, right? These were all setbacks and how to overcome them, okay? Now we're going to talk about how to develop a winning mindset, okay? You guys ready for this? You want some winning mindsets here? Drop me some more. What do we want in the chat, huh? Give me some of those little mind blown emojis. You know, the little emojis with the mind that's like, got like a mushroom cloud coming out of the brain. Give me some of those in the chat. Let me know you're with me. Let me know you're liking this, you're digging it, that you want more. Let's go. Let's go. Give me some minds being blown in the chat. Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do it. Laura, let's go. David, Gary, Angela, Facebook user, represent. Christina, Karen, Facebook user, Deborah, Sydney. Sabrina couldn't find emoji. That's okay. David, yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right. All right. You ready to do this? This is the fun part. This is the stuff I totally geek out on this next part. Developing a winning mindset. First of all, you have a green light until you get a red light. I can't tell you how many people I know that just won't take action on a thing. They want to write a book. They want to launch the winning product. They want to start a new Shopify store. They want to get into a new niche, right? All these things. They want to take a new course on digital marketing. They want to launch their first TikTok ads, right? And they just, for whatever reason, don't, right? There are a lot of folks like this. I mean, I fall into the rut too. I'm no exception to this. But you got to tell yourself, you have a green light until you get a red light. You always have permission to take action. You have a green light until you get a red light. That is the default, right? A lot of people are sitting around waiting for somebody else to come and tell them to go, tell them what to do, tell them it's okay to do a thing, to confirm an idea they have, to validate some new thing that they want to do, right? No. Don't wait for any of that stuff. You have a green light until you get a red light. Be your own validation. Be your own self-validation, right? Be your own encouragement to move forward. I mean, here's the thing, guys. The time is going to pass anyways, right? I can't tell you, who was it? There's somebody that wanted to write a book. They wanted to write a book. And the thing that was holding them back is they're like, it's going to take a long time to write a book. It's going to take me like a year to write a book. And the thing is the time is going to pass anyways. Before you know it, we're going to be like sitting in the present moment, but a year from now. Right? Are you going to have the book or not? The time is going to pass anyway. You may as well fill it with massive action, trying to hit your goals and doing what you want. So be your own encouragement, be your own validation, right? You have a green light until you get a red light, okay? The only red light for most people, for 95% of the things in the world, the only red light is right here in between your ears. That's the only red light. It's the only thing holding you back, right? It's right here in between your ears. It's the only thing telling you it's not possible. You can't do it. You don't have enough knowledge yet. It's not perfect enough yet to set it out into the world, right? It's right here in between your ears, okay? Shift that, reframe that. You have permission. Look, I'm giving you all permission, but give yourself permission. You have permission to take massive action, to achieve your dreams, to launch those new products, to start the new Shopify store, to try the new niche, to get your first TikTok ad up, right? Let's go, people. You got it. You have a green light till you get a red light. You guys feeling me? Let's do it. Okay. You have a green light till you get a red light. Next, that which hinders your task is your task. Okay? That which hinders your task is your task. All right? So you're trying to do something and you hit a roadblock because you don't know how to do it. You know, maybe there's something on, just to make it contextual, maybe there's something on Shopify, some new thing you want on your store, and it requires you to modify the code, right? And you don't know how to do it. Okay. And you're just, boom, it's just a barrier. It's a blockage. You've never messed with code before. It's scary. Well, that which hinders your task is your task. You got to go learn. You got to figure it out. You got to break through the barrier. You got to break through the boundary. Okay. Go watch some YouTube videos. Go watch a how-to video. Find a tutorial. It's all out there. It's all out there, and it's at your fingertips. You can get it, right? That which hinders your task is your task. Okay? So if you want to achieve a goal and some obstacle comes up, that obstacle becomes your task, right? That which hinders your task is your task. By the way, this applies in every area of life, not just entrepreneurship. It applies in relationships. It applies in personal goals. It applies in your job. It applies literally everywhere. That which hinders your task is your task. Okay? You guys got it? Okay. Let's keep going. The aggregation of marginal gains. Okay? The law of aggregation of marginal gains. Aim for 1% improvement every single day. Aim for 1% improvement every day. You don't have to hit a hole in one. You don't have to hit the home run right out of the gate. Just try to improve a little bit more than you did yesterday. Try to sharpen a skill a little bit more than it was yesterday, right? Small improvements every day equate to massive improvements over time, right? Small improvements every day equate to massive improvements over time. Just try to improve by 1% every day. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Take baby steps. 1% improvement every single day, right? Will equate to massive improvements over time. Is this helpful for everybody? You guys feeling this? Is this helpful? Is anybody feeling encouraged right now in the chat? Are you feeling like maybe you were stuck at the beginning of the call, but now some things are starting to open up, like log jams are clearing, right? You're getting new ideas. You're getting fresh inspiration. If that's you, let us know in the chat. Sabrina, Fatumata, Gary, let's go. Let's go. Nathan, I tell my therapy clients the 1% rule almost every day. I love it. Angela, yes, definitely. Yes. Pumped. Yes. Feeling you, bro. Thank you. I really needed this. I needed this today. Let's go. Awesome. Awesome. Let's keep going. There are more. There are more. Next, the ability to endure pain for long periods of time. So this one's tough. This one, most people don't like to hear this, but I personally am of the opinion you need to lean into suffering. That's just kind of how I feel about it. You need to lean into suffering. Okay. I have a friend that told me one time he had a very, very difficult childhood, and he had been through, I mean, he'd been through everything you can imagine. He'd been abused. I think he'd even been shot at. He had been stabbed before. He just very, very difficult childhood. And one of the things he told me really stuck me. He said, I can't remember exactly what I was even going through at the time. I was talking to him about something. And he said, look, man, he goes, it might kill you, right? That's the worst that could happen here. What you're about to go through, it might kill you. But he goes, but it'll feel better if you're leaning into it. He goes, it might kill you, but it'll feel better if you're leaning into it. And there was some nugget of truth hidden in there that just fascinated me. And it's that, like, there are two ways to go through life. Okay. You can run from suffering. Now, look, I'm not talking about minimizing suffering. Obviously, everyone wants to minimize suffering. Okay. Got it. No problem. I'm talking about running from suffering, because there are some people that run to the room, jump in the bed, throw the covers over them, put the pillows on top, and hide from life, right? There's some people that literally run from suffering. And then there's another viewpoint, which is you can lean into it and see what it has to teach you. And that's the nugget of truth that was hidden in there, right? You're going to spend most of your time in the ShineOn game, right? In failure. Remember the treadmill back here? Right? You're going to spend most of your time on the bottom part of this treadmill. Okay. You will spend most of your time down here, right? In failure. That's uncomfortable. It sucks. Honestly, it kind of sucks. However, if you're reframing things in your head and you're improving by 1% a day and you're taking massive action, right? You're leaning into it, trying to see what failure has to teach you. It completely changes everything. But you have to get to a place where your mind and your emotions can endure being in that place to learn the lessons that place has to teach you. You tracking with me? You have to get your mind and emotions to where you can endure being in that place so that you can learn the lessons that place has to teach you. Okay? Very, very important. You need to learn how to endure pain for long periods of time. For every big winner, I'm talking about ShineOn now, there are lots and lots and lots of losers. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. But you're never going to get a big winner if you can't outlast this period of losing. It's just a fact of life, of everything. It's not related to ShineOn, just ShineOn. This is the truth for literally everything. Everything you ever do, right? Right? So suffering feels better if you're leaning into it. That is the takeaway. Suffering feels better if you're leaning into it. Okay. All right, let's keep going. There's some tougher ones in here. We're going to get to what I think is probably the toughest one for everybody in a minute. So it's coming. Okay. This one, you're buying data, you're not losing money. You're buying data, you're not losing money. Okay. Okay. Notice I snuck this one into the other kind of psychological stuff. You're buying data, you're not losing money. You got to reframe your ads, or the way you look at ads, the way you look at marketing, the way you look at your spend. You're buying data, you're not losing money. Okay. Everybody runs ads that have no results. Everybody does it. All the top sellers do it. I promise you, all the top sellers are in a place where they lose more than they win, right? Nobody's flipped the ratio on that. Yeah, I can tell you, Kirsta, he is 100% in that boat. That guy loses way more than he wins when you're looking at just the numbers. Obviously, he makes more money. His profit exceeds his losses by an incredible ratio. But if you just look at the number of tests he puts out into the universe versus how many come back as winners, without a doubt, the guy loses more than he wins. But that's true of every top seller. Everybody, right? You always miss more shots than you land. Doesn't matter who you are, right? So you got to reframe when you're running a test. When you have your ads out there and data is coming back to you and you're not getting sales, you got to reframe it. You're buying data, you're not losing money. You're buying data, you're not losing money. When you spend money with no sales, you're buying data, and the data is valuable. See, this is the other reframe. You need to understand the data you're buying is valuable. It's valuable. It's teaching you something, but you have to be receptive to the lesson, right? It's up to you to figure out what the data is telling you, what it's teaching you about your audience, about the product, about the ad strategy that you use, about your copy, literally all of it. There are lessons in the data, and it's up to you to be able to receive those lessons, to internalize them and learn from them. Remember about getting better 1% every day, right? This here is a valuable tool. It's a valuable way to do that, right? Data is valuable. All right, everybody with me? We got a hard one coming up. We got the hardest one of all coming up in a minute. The hardest one of all coming up in a minute. Everybody with me? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Have a bias towards action. Have a bias towards action. Done is better than perfect. And I always like to, when I really want a goal, when I like really, really, really want a goal, I work for it almost like my family's going to starve to death if I don't hit the goal. That might be a personality thing for me, but when I really want a goal, it's like I dream about it. I think about it. I'm reading books about it. I'm listening to podcasts about it. I'm taking tons and tons of action anytime I get a chance on the goal. I meditate on it. Like I'm just thinking about it all the time is really what I mean there. That's how I am when I really, really want a goal, right? But you need to have a bias towards action, meaning if you want something, go after it with tangible action. Don't just sit on your rump. Don't just sit there and wish that you had the thing. Don't send hopes and prayers towards that thing happening someday. You want to actually do something about it. Take action. Take the course, watch the video, run some ads, create your first design, do all of those things, right? You need to take massive, massive, massive action. There comes a point where planning gets you nowhere, right? You can plan until you're in the grave, okay? Action is the only thing that is going to get you closer to your goal, okay? Action is the only thing, and it's up to you. It's up to you to put yourself in motion and take appropriate action. It is up to you. right? So let's talk about the 4 stages of learning. We're going to do a quick recap, and then we're going to get to the hardest one of all. Okay, 4 stages of learning. Okay, we start down here in the bottom left. All right. The first stage is unconscious incompetence. Okay, this is when you think when you see somebody else do something and you're like, oh, that can't be that hard, right? And then you try it and you're like, well, no. So this is the stage where you look at something and you go, it can't be that hard, right? Like I watch some people play frisbee golf and I'm like, they're just throwing a little thingamajigger into a freaking thing, right? I'm like, how hard can that be, right? Unconscious incompetence. Me, I just had no idea that there was skill involved in doing that kind of thing, right? Unconscious incompetence. This is where everybody starts. They watch somebody do a thing. They don't think it's that difficult. Then you try it and suddenly you wake up to the fact that it's tough, That's conscious incompetence. You suddenly realize that you're not any good at the thing that you didn't think was that hard, right? Conscious incompetence. This here is scary. A lot of people bow out right here, right? When you see the ads on Facebook and about, doing digital marketing and drop shipping and making tons and tons of money, you're in this space here. This is where you start, unconscious incompetence. They take advantage of this, actually, right? In the ads. I mean, this is just kind of what marketers do. I'm not really faulting them. I don't think it's an ethical issue, but they kind of take advantage of this because you see their success and they take advantage of this naivete, right? And they get you to believe it's not that hard. But then when you try it, you enter this place, conscious incompetence. And you suddenly realize, oh crap, it's tougher than I thought, right? Tougher than I thought. But if you work at it long enough, if you spend time in this place, this is where you got to get used to discomfort, failure, things like that. Everything that happens in this place right here is usually emotionally, it can be tough, right? Because it's hard. You're going to fail a lot. Okay. But if you can outlast this kind of the learning curve required to pass from this box to this box, you're gold, right? You can move from conscious incompetence to conscious competence. Okay. Lots of practice, a lot of failure, a lot of time, a lot of energy, learning, etc., is required to do it. But you can transition from conscious incompetence to conscious competence, right? And then finally, if you get really, really good here, if you stay here long enough, there are parts of this that become intuitive, right? That you just feel. It's like they get baked inside of you, okay? You come down here to unconscious competence, where you're good at something, you make it look easy, it feels easy, but it's because you have a competence now that you're unconscious of. Let's talk about driving for a minute. Driving is a great way to kind of work through this so you really understand the concept. Unconscious incompetence in driving is when you're in the back seat and you've never driven before, you don't think it's that hard, right? Conscious incompetence is you're sitting in the driver's seat and it's like, oh crap, how do I maneuver the vehicle, control my feet, control my hands, watch for the flow of traffic, make sure I'm obeying the laws? There's actually a lot of complexity that comes with driving a motor vehicle. A lot of complexity, especially if you're in the road with traffic and you're trying to go somewhere and you don't realize it. You take it for granted because you do it literally every day. It's tough. And when you're first starting out, this is why there's driver's ed classes. This is why you have to do driving tests. It's not actually that easy to do. It's a skill set on top of a skill set on top of a skill set. You have to put it all together to do it successfully, right? That's conscious incompetence. Right after you learn to drive, you start to enter this conscious competence phase, right? Where when you're accelerating on the highway, maybe you're still kind of thinking about like, okay, am I looking in the rearview mirror? Do I check my blind spots? When do I merge? Oh, I got to do the blinker before I merge. Like you're still kind of in that place where you're gaining your competence, but you have to be very aware of it. Like you're having that inner dialogue still about like how you do the thing and how you do the thing well, right? You're being your own coach, if that makes sense. Okay. And then finally you enter unconscious competence where you're listening to podcasts and you're eating fast food and you're driving with one hand, right? You enter that place because it's like suddenly you got all the stuff for the most part, and you're in the zone. Okay. All right. Those are the 4 stages of learning. Okay. Next. You ready? This is the hardest one. Let's do a quick recap. Okay. All right. You have a green light till you get a red light. That which hinders your task is your task. The aggregation of marginal gains, right? Try to improve by 1% every single day. Develop the ability to endure pain for long periods of time, right? Lean into suffering, okay? Reframe. You're buying data, you're not losing money. You're buying data, you're not losing money. Have a bias towards action, right? So always give action preferential treatment in anything that you do. Understand the 4 stages of learning and where you're at in it, right? This will help you not get discouraged. Finally, this is the toughest one. This is the toughest one. Your life is your fault, right? This is the toughest one for people to accept. Your life is your fault, okay? I've got 2 bullets here because I want to get real clear about what I mean. Your life is your fault is probably not a good way to look at other people, okay? It's probably not a good way to look at other people because you'll become judgmental if you do, right? But this is the only way, in my opinion, to look at yourself. It is literally the only way to look at yourself. Probably not a great way to look at others. It's the only way to look at yourself because understanding deeply, internalizing that your life is your fault is the only thing that will give you power back in your life. It is the only thing that makes you realize and take responsibility for the agency that you have in your life, the control you do have in your life. You have to be able to look in the mirror and very seriously tell yourself, your life is your fault. And if you don't like it, you're the only one that can change it. You're the only one that can change it, right? You can't wait for some solution to fall out of the sky. No knight in shining armor is going to come riding up on a horse and save you, right? None of that's ever going to happen. Your life is your fault. You need to initiate your own self-rescue, right? Again, not a great way to look at others because you can become judgmental, right? Like you don't really understand other people. However, for you, this is the only way. It's the only way. You have to adopt this mindset. Your life is your fault. Your life is your fault. One time I heard somebody explaining the fear of God, and they said the fear of God is basically just means that everything matters, right? The fear of God means that everything matters. This is the same thing, right? Your life is your fault. Everything matters. You have control. You have agency. You have free will, right? You have the ability to initiate your own self-rescue. It's all on you. You got to look in the mirror. You got to own it. Every piece of it, every single piece of it, right? Not a good way to look at others. It's the only way to look at yourself, right? This applies not to just digital marketing. Because you can't be upset about the results you didn't get with the action you didn't take, right? This is the thing that makes you own that. It makes you own that. If you haven't seen results yet, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's not my fault. It's not some coach's fault that hadn't taught you a thing yet. It's not YouTube's fault for not serving you the right video that you need yet. It's your fault. It's your fault, right? For not pressing into it, for learning lessons, to taking more action, to equipping your mind more, right? To putting out more tests or whatever the case might be, right? I'm not picking on anybody in particular. I'm using an example. Your life is your fault. That's the only way to do it. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's got to get swallowed, right? This is the only thing. Your life is your fault. So I told you earlier that at the end of this, life would be different. And that's because all of it built to this, right? You are either going to accept or reject this. And I promise you, that will set a trajectory. Your life will enter a new trajectory after this truth, right? You can either accept it, own your life, start taking action to build the life you want, or you can completely reject this, remain in a place of maybe feeling like a victim or being a victim mentally and emotionally, and just letting life happen to you. I would rather happen to life, right? Everybody see the switch? Not life happening to me. I would rather happen to life, right? That's how I want to see the world. Is like, I'm in the world. This is my sandbox. It's my playground. The things in this world are my toys, right? That's empowering, right? It sets you up for success rather than the other, which is like, oh, life happens to me. I'm just kind of a victim of the people and the forces around me and kind of what's going on. Like you just can't live in that place. You will suffer. It will increase suffering, right? The only proper response is your life is your fault. It's the only way to look at yourself. Okay, I think I've pretty much said what I need to say on that. Where are you guys at? Are you guys feeling this? Is this helpful? Let me know in the chat right now if this is helpful. What are you learning? What are you learning here? Sandy, I totally accept this. Be happy for others who are experiencing success. So many 40-year-old teenagers out there. Dave Mackey, I need this. Yep. David, realizing this simple fact is part of becoming an adult. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true, I think. There's definitely maturity that happens if you can accept this. Laura, very true. I love the power understanding this brings. Yep, let's do it. Rosie, tough but true. Gail, this is fire. Love it. 100% ownership of your life. Discipline equals freedom. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. In the zone, so helpful. Gratitude's also very important. Totally agree with you there. Totally agree with you there. Best coffee with Michael yet. Are you a psychiatrist? No, I just geek out on this stuff. Own your life. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, great. All right, we're wrapping up here. I got just a few more. Reframe. Failure is a good thing. Remember the treadmill I talked about earlier. You're going to spend a lot of time on it. Don't take the bait of like the negative emotions that come up with failing, right? Failure is a good thing. You should be excited when you fail, right? You just found out a thing that didn't work. So now go do something else, right? By process of elimination, you'll eventually hit a success. You're on the path. You know what I mean? You stuck with it another day. You took action. There is so much to be encouraged from by failure. It's ridiculous. You just got to reframe it. You just have to reframe it, right? So failure is a good thing. Failure is a good thing. If you don't give up for long enough, you win. If you don't give up for long enough, you win. This one's huge. This one is absolutely huge. If you don't give up for long enough, you win. All you got to do in this game is outlast your failures. That's all you got to do. Outlast your failures. If you don't give up for long enough, you win. I remember when this lesson hit me, okay? Hit me. I don't know how many of you have seen Cool Hand Luke with, Paul Newman. It's an old film. I think it was filmed in like the 50s or 60s. At any rate, I was like 9 or something, and I was watching it with my stepdad. And it was one of his favorite movies. Anyways, there's this scene in the film where Paul Newman basically gets thrown into a boxing match with this other guy. And this guy is huge. This other guy is. And Paul Newman didn't want to fight him. And the other guy's really wanting to fight him. And the other guy comes at him and he kind of beats Paul Newman up. And Paul Newman falls down, right? His character falls down. Then he gets back up, right? He's kind of bloodied or whatever. He gets back up. This guy freaking socks him a couple more times and he goes down again into the dirt. And now Paul's looking really messed up. He's got some swelling going on. He's bleeding and he gets back up. And mind you, this whole time, Paul Newman is not throwing a punch, right? He's just taking it. He gets back up and he's standing. The guy comes over again and beats him down again. And Paul Newman goes down to the ground. And then he gets right back up. And now all the people watching this fight, they're starting to see Paul Newman. I mean, his face is getting mashed up. And they're starting to say, quit. You know, they're like, give up, man. Quit. Throw in the towel. Like, you know, let this guy win. And this other guy comes back over, freaking throws a bunch of more punches. Paul Newman goes down into the dirt again. It's like the 4th or 5th time he goes down. He gets back up. He's bloodied. He's battered. He's breathing hard. He's a mess. Paul Newman is a complete mess at this point. And everybody's looking at him. They're looking at Paul Newman. They're like, why didn't this guy just quit? They think he's a freak for putting himself through the pain. And the other guy, the tall guy that he's in the boxing match with, looks at this and he just goes, this is sick. He's just beating this dude down who's not even fighting back. He's all bloody. I mean, like, Paul Newman was going to let this guy kill him, right? He was just not going to bow out. He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't going to throw in the towel. This other guy, this taller guy, the stronger guy, the guy that's tougher, the guy that for all intents and purposes won the boxing match, takes off his gloves, throws them on the ground. He says, this is sick. I'm done. And he walks away, right? And for some reason, the lesson I took away from that at 9 years old or whatever was, if you don't give up for long enough, you win. If you don't give up for long enough, you win. But it's true. It's true literally in everything. If you can outlast your failures, if you can outlast the pain, the suffering, the uncomfortable stuff, if you just don't give up, you win. There's a trophy at the end of it. You just have to hang on. It's all you got to do. So if you can stay in the game long enough, if you can keep doing this ShineOn thing, if you can keep putting tests out there into the universe, eventually, I can't promise when, eventually, you'll see a winner. All right? Finally, you're one product away. You're one product away, right? So what you see here is kind of a picture. You got two people doing some mining, right? This guy's feverishly going at it. This guy's been going at it for a while. He's hunched over. He's defeated. He hasn't found his diamonds yet. And he gives up one, pickaxe strike away from this diamond horde over here, right? That is this game. You're one product away from the diamond horde. You're one product away from the diamond horde. One product away. So if you quit now, you'll never know. Could have been the next product. The next product could have been it. Could have been the breakthrough. Could have been the winner, right? Could have taught you the one lesson that led you to your winning product. You need to be scared of failing, scared of giving up for that very reason, right? Scared of giving up for that very reason. All right, was this helpful? What was let me know in the comments, what was the most helpful mindset thing you learned today? Let's go. Give me a sentence. Tell us what you learned today. That's really what I want to know. What did you learn today from this mindset talk? What have you learned today from the mindset talk? Sheila, this has literally been one of the most, I didn't expect this. This has literally been one of the most impactful and life-altering Coffee with Michaels ever. People, do yourself a favor and watch this one weekly. I was able to destroy a huge mindset monster. It was killing me. Thank you, Michael. You're out here doing God's work. Thanks, Sheila. That's quite an incredible compliment. I'm not sure I'm worthy of that, but I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much. It's a privilege to be able to get up here every week and talk to you guys. All of them. Give me some lessons, people. All of them is just it's not enough. Give me some substance here. What was the big one that was kind of maybe the eye opener? What did you learn? That's what I want to know. My life is my fault. Yes, that's a great one. Your life is your fault. It's powerful. It's gold. I really needed it. Your life is your fault. Yes. Biggest takeaway, that which hinders your task is your task. Yeah. Yep. It's empowering too. It's empowering too. This is by far the best coffee. My life is my fault. It's powerful. Am I going to let a little problem stop me? The answer is a resounding no. Resounding no. Aggregation of marginal gains. Let's do it. Just keep swimming. I like that. It's an interesting reframe on not giving up. I dig it. Can't say it any better than Sheila. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate that. My life is my fault. My life is my fault. Yeah, one struck a chord with a lot of people. The most important was to take 100% responsibility of your actions and your success. Love this Coffee with Michael. Thanks, Sabrina. You used to failure, one product away. Yes, everybody here, everybody listening to this, you are one product away. One product away. All right. You have to lose before you can win. That is 100% true. It's part of life. Inaction is action. Yes. I love that. That's why there's a red pill, blue pill thing going on here. Your life will be different after today, 100%, because you're either going to choose to take action or you're going to remain in inaction. Both of those are a choice, and both of them are your fault. Right? Not you specifically, Gail. Generally speaking, though, that is the truth. That is the truth. You are at a crossroads just by being here today. After today, as soon as this is over, the live stream's over, you go back to normal life. It is up to you where you go from there. But your life will be different now because it's your responsibility to do something with it. My life is my fault. The obstacle is the way. Yes, that's a great book. Gotta own it. Agree your life is your fault. Lean into pain. Yeah, I love that one. What the hell? This is one of the best seasons we had, mate. Sessions we've had, mate. Well, thank you, Facebook user. Appreciate it. For me, it was enduring pain. I have built a dream life of ease, and it has made it hard to go for my new goals, which are full of pain. Yeah, this is a tough one. A lot of people struggle with this one, but I ultimately think that, look, I'm messed up. The way I see the world is a little different than everybody else. That's fine. I've always been a little bit of a weirdo when it comes to this, but I think you have to make pain your friend. I don't mean in like a masochistic kind of way or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, you have to be well acquainted with pain to achieve anything, right? And think of pain as the obstacle that is in front of everything you want, right? Emotional pain, mental, like cognitive dissonance kind of pain, physical pain. It's like a skill you just have to develop in life is, like, you have to learn who pain is, how to talk to pain, how to react to pain. You have to become well acquainted with pain. There's no other way in life, right? There is literally no other way. Running from pain will cause its own pain eventually, right? The best thing to do, based on kind of my life experience anyway, is you just got to lean into it. You got to lean into it. Anyway, that's great. Okay, if you don't give up, you win. 1% every day. Yeah, let's do it. Great work, folks. Keep your goals in front of you. Do the work and be consistent. Focused on self, not others. Keep going till you win. Stay the course. That's right. Love it. Don't give up. You're one product away. I'll make these phrases my daily affirmations. Do it. That's what I'm talking about. You're so encouraging. Thank you. Thanks, Angelica. It's a privilege to be here with you every single week. Decision paralysis is in action. It's recorded. Someone must have asked if it was recorded. Don't say you can't afford to do this. Say you can't afford not to take action for your future. Yeah, love it. Love it. Roll with the punches. Let's do it. Cognitive dissonance. It's a huge one most people aren't aware of. Yep, it happens. There's all kinds of pain, right? Pain's part of the human experience. All right. I love to read all these comments of people ready to grow and learn. Shine is for sure the best community. 100%. 100%. I agree with you. Lean into it. Okay. Thanks so much for the message. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let's move to the wrap up. I hope you spend the rest of today encouraged. I hope you have an incredibly productive, encouraging, positive, hope-filled week. And I hope that you hit the ground with action. Take massive action for the rest of this year. For the rest of this year. Okay. In the rest of your life, right? Okay. All right, we're going to move on. But I hope that when you're 90 years old, 100 years old, and you're in your deathbed, right? And you're thinking about the thing that made all the difference. I hope that April 29th, 2022 comes back to you, just flashes on your eyelids. And you remember all of this. You remember the community you were part of, right? You remember that coffee with Michael from ages long ago and how it made everything right. How that was when your life turned a new direction, right? For many of you, maybe this will be that. Maybe this will be that. Okay. All right. Let's go. Mother's Day cutoff, Mother's Day, May 8th. It's May 8th. The cutoff is the 2nd. You've got some selling time left. Go after it. USA, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, all English-speaking markets. All the people there, from what I've heard, have moms. It's a great place to market, sell some Mother's Day gifts. If you got a product, you're kind of scaling it. Excuse me. You need some help? ShineOn Scaling with Mario.com. ShineOn Scaling Mario with ShineOn Scaling with Mario.com is where you want to go to learn about that. We have an affiliate program. You have to unlock it with 100 sales. Go to analytics, referrals, get your link in the top right, blast it out to a ton of people. Until next time, if you haven't started selling with ShineOn yet, you need to. It'll be life-changing. ShineOn.com. To sign up, take 60 seconds. If you're watching on YouTube, join the Facebook group. We have the best community in the world. bit.ly/go ShineOn to do that, or go to Facebook and search for ShineOn Profits on Demand. If you're on Facebook, you haven't joined the YouTube channel, go subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the fun stuff YouTube lets you do. And finally, follow us on Instagram. We just started rolling out a bunch of fresh content. I think you're going to enjoy it. Thank you, everybody for joining. Really appreciate you. Until next time, happy selling. Stay encouraged, everybody. Take care.